Welcome to Indigenous Avenue. My name is Big B, your host. A lot of y'all people might know me as Brutis. Today I got somebody special. This is my homeboy right here. I've known him for a really, really long time, but up until recently surprised us all by doing music. And of course, when he started doing music, you thought he'd be like the rest of us and just do karaoke. But no, this man spawned straight to the top. I'd like to give it up for Blue Flames. Scott Kalama, what's good, bro?
What's up, Brutis? Thanks for having me.
Yeah, of course, man. Of course, man. So what have you been up to? What do you do now?
I do tobacco prevention for my day job, and then on the weekends I do hip hop, do music, and shout out to Big B, all the rest of the artists here in Warm Springs. I kind of grew up being a fan of hip hop and music, and then seeing my cousins, my fam doing it. In the back of my mind, I'm like, man, that's awesome. Maybe one day I can try it, and I got the opportunity at a youth conference. They're teaching kids how to record, and all the kids were kind of reluctant. And I stepped in there and did a song, brought it back, showed it to Brutis, Baez here at KWSO. He played it for me, pretty much let me know that I can do it. Gave me a little platform. Back then it was Groove Central, and native hip hop. I used to sit around every Friday night listening to that. And I was like, man, maybe one day I can have a song on there. Maybe one day,
And look at you now, yeah.
Yeah.
So working on your first album, what was your guys' first album called?
My first album, it's kind of crazy because I was recording for maybe a year and a half. And then finally, after that year and a half, I finally got a record deal. And it's with this company. And they were like, okay, well, let's see what you got. And I'm like, well, here's all my songs. And they picked 7 tracks for an EP. And that's where Res Life came from. So Res Life is the EP. And that we did the music video for Res Life, and that's on YouTube, and we won for
That's the one that won the NAMI, right? How did it feel to win a NAMI, man?
It felt good, man. It felt unbelievable because I hear you guys talking about it and your guys' journey in the past and going over there and wanting to win, and you winning with the Res Hogs, all day, all night. Shout out to Ryan Craig, and Spook, the rest of them up there, in Yakima, and Jamie Scott and his tour over there, and it just made me think, man, maybe one day, maybe if someone from Springs can win one, that'll be dope. And then it happened to be me, and I'm just like, whoa, man, this is crazy. And I just feel blessed. I feel good about it, because on this path, you know about this, about being an artist. Sometimes you gotta close your circle, man.
Absolutely.
Make it really small, and sometimes in order to make it, you gotta sacrifice a lot of things. And I sobered up, and pretty much me being sober, I had a lot of extra money. So I was like, what am I going to do with my time, and what's my purpose in life? And I was going through that phase, man. Yeah. I don't know if I believe everyone goes through that phase. Like, what am I doing? What the fuck am I doing? And that's what I went through. And next thing you know, I'm like, I got the opportunity to record, and I had fun, showed it to you, and I got good feedback from you, Jefferson, Superman, all these artists that have been doing it forever. I'm like, well, if they give me little props, man, I'm going to keep going because this is fun to me.
Yeah.
And, you probably got that same feeling when you perform, you feel light as a feather, you feel happy, you feel like nothing can shake you, nothing can move you, and that's how I feel, and it just uplifts my spirit, makes me happy, and it's just cool just knowing that just with little patience. It takes a lot of patience, actually.
Absolutely.
And a lot of people was like, bro, when are you going to put an album out? When are you going to put an album out? I'm like, man, it takes time. It takes time. It's my first time doing this. I'm trying to do it right.
Yeah.
And so I had all these 30 tracks sitting there. And my record company owner, his name's Chaz Mortimer, Euphoria Records, and it's like, Scott, these are the tracks I like. I'm like, all right, cool, you can have those tracks. All right, Scott, what we're going to do is we're going to do a distribution deal, we'll see where we go from there, and not 360 yet, 'cause I don't even know none of these terms, 180, 360. I'm like, what does that mean? And so they're breaking it down for me, merchandise, promotion, marketing, this and that, videos. And so what it came down to was just distribution deal, 50-50, went 50-50 on everything, on the album and on the music video. So when it came down to it, it was a lot of money, but it was worth it, and I was kind of like, what am I doing here? Should I go back to college? Because goddamn, I'm not getting anywhere, And then finally I just kept patient, just kept, taking my time and being patient with it. And at the same time, have a belief, have faith, and that it's going to work. And that's the hardest thing to do, because you're putting all this money into it, and you're hoping they like
Right.
it, hoping they buy it, know, and
get the money back.
yeah, and so, I broke even, it's, it's all good, and here and there I'll get some money, but it's not like what everyone thinks. I'm going to be rich overnight. It's, and honestly, I thought that's how it was going to be. As soon as I got my record deal, I was like, shit, I'm quitting my job.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but then they're like, no, Scott, your job is a part of you. It's part of what makes you you. And I'm like, all right, Scott, that's the reason why we're helping you, because you're helping these kids. You're helping these kids from the reservation. You're molding them, helping them, to make right choices. And we like that. So we want to do that for you. And so with Beats Lyrics Leaders, it's a youth program that started out in Portland, Thrive Conference. And I was having kids there from Warm Springs. And like I said, they were too scared to record. And after I did, all the kids got enough confidence to go in there and record. And in that process, we recruited 9 tribes, youth, from Oregon. And so in the video, that's what represents all 9 tribes of Oregon is that res life. We're talking about our res life here in Oregon and what we go through. Every res is different, but we all face the same aspects, the poverty, alcoholism, and the bad economy, everything that comes with it, and learning how to deal with it. They talk about the historical trauma, and they talk about how all this history affects our people, and in my job, I'm starting to realize and I believe it. At first, I was like, whatever, that's bullshit. Like everyone else, like, no, whatever, man, but to me, it all stems from something, learned behavior. Like they say about our people, like we don't even have any words for anything that's negative. We don't have words that's bad in our language. Everything's all good. Yeah. So this is all taught to us.
European concept.
Yeah. So that's what I've been like learning and thinking. And so that's what I kind of bring with my music is like, because everyone's like, whoa, listen to your song and it's different. I thought you was going to come gangster and hard. And I start laughing. Oh, that's been done before. That's what we grew up on.
Absolutely.
But I want to take that and then take a little bit of pop, take a little bit of native hip hop and put it together and make something that everyone likes, universal. And that's what's hard is how can I do that and represent my people in a good way without exploiting my culture?
Yeah, that definitely is a struggle. What about what are some of the favorite places that this music has taken you?
My favorite was in New York.
Seneca.
Yeah.
Buffalo.
Yeah,
Did you go to Niagara Falls and all that?
Yeah, I did, man. It was a good experience. It was cool because I got my homie Andy Fuentes YL.
Yeah.
We got an album out together, Shift Your Paradigm. It's on Google Play, iTunes.
How did you meet YL Andy?
Oh man, it's kind of a crazy story. Well, not really crazy, just a small town type story. And I was kind of looking around. Same time I was shopping beats with you and
Nate.
You and Nate, yeah. You're like, bro, I got these beats, and I'm like, still new. I'm like, I need some beats, bro. Give me a deal, And you guys gave me a deal, so I'm like, cool, man. All right, I got these beats. All right, and then, bro, what can we do, bro? We can come up here and record if you want, So it was kind of like that, and it was like, okay, all right, and then so I started asking him, well, who else got recording equipment, And my cousin Dominic is like, Andy does. They all work at the mill together, or used to, and then I was like, Andy who? Andy Fuentes, and he's got his equipment. I'm like, oh, I kind of know that guy. I'll hit him up, And so I messaged him. He used to chill with Atoy, Gary Kachaya, Senior, and, all that crew, Thomas Charlie, all the, crew. Yeah. So, what's up, bro? I told him who I was and everything. And he kind of didn't respond back. And then a month later, he's like, oh, my bad, bro. I used to hang out with your brothers. He brought up my 2 brothers that passed away, Gibby and Rupert. And I'm like, yeah, so I'm saying, man, I know who you are. I remember you at my house when we was kids. I was just a little kid then, because it's about, 5 years older than me or something like that. But, and he's all like, my bad, bro. We're fam, So after that, he's like, here's my number. My buddy got the studio in Portland, and that's Fish Martinez.
I know Fish.
Yeah.
Small world, man.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's small time, small town stuff, and he was all like, man, I've been in the game, bro. And then you guys are inspiring me because you guys are making a comeback, and I took a break. I shouldn't have took a break. So pretty much we inspired Fish to,
back together too,
let's go. So in that process, we all met, different people through music, and I kind of was like, cool, man, doing my thing with them. And then in the meantime, I was working with Beats Lyrics Leaders and Chaz, and ended up meeting Yamio, 263 is the one that produced both my albums and did all my artwork, and it's pretty much the key to my success. You know, him and Chaz and Soraya and Lovely Locks. You know, the whole family. You know, my music family became my family.
There you go.
You know, and we meet up and do barbecues and however it may be. You know, just trying to keep it cool. You know, because we don't want nothing to come between us. And the funny thing about it is, we learn from our elders, we learn from our parents. My mom's like, Scott, watch the Temptations movie. You know,
that's the baddest movie in the world.
Yeah, she's like, watch that movie and learn from it.
Yeah,
you're in music. And I sat there and looked at her like, I never thought about that.
Yeah.
You know, you don't think about these things because you're just doing.
You're living that basically.
Yeah, and she's like, learn from it. And so from there, I was like, man, my mom's kind of, got a point there. You know, I can't be.
Shout out to moms. That is a good movie, man. What's your favorite part on that movie?
I'm not sure. I think it's when they first hear their song on the radio.
Oh yeah, that's the deep part. That's the deep part when he comes running in. My favorite part is when they're trying to figure out a name. Remember when they kicked him out and they had to stand outside and wait for a name?
Yeah,
and then the guy gets smart. He's like, let's just go with the testicles. And then they all look at him like, all mean, like, don't you ever. But yeah, man. And so the artwork, I'm looking at this, Blue Flames, this is to Beam Me Up. So you just give him a concept, say what you want, and then he does like a draft for it?
Yeah, pretty much. It has a UFO and it's beaming up Chief Joseph. And I got that drawn up by Alan Mitchell here in Warm Springs.
Oh, okay.
And
shout out to Alan.
Yeah, shout out to Alan Mitchell. You know, he just won an award this year from.
Right. And he does tattoos, man. I got one from him.
Yeah,
he's
man.
A good artist.
Yeah, I've been knowing him since high school and then Haskell. And then,
Haskell. Y'all Haskell buddies.
Yeah, so it's shout out to Alan, and so I'm like, bro, it's gonna be on my album, bro. And then he's like, what? So I'm glad he did it. And the concept was just kind of. I got the Beam Me Up, like they beam me up, Scotty from Star Trek, and my late grandpa, Ivan McKinley, call him Grandpa Ivan, Grandpa Crack, but my late grandpa, he would always say that to me when I go visit him at his house. Beam me up, Scotty. Look at him and like, why do you always say that, Grandpa? And as a kid, I thought he would say it so fast. I thought he was saying, beat me up. Beat me up, Scotty. I'm like, Grandpa, what do you want me to beat you up? And then he would laugh around and, you never watched Star Trek? And then he started showing me, Star Trek shows. I'm like, oh, that's what you're saying. And then when he passed away, I was living in Oklahoma and I was down there, met this one chick, college, thought she was the one.
Wow.
The whole story, and then I was like, man, I don't know what I'm doing here, So honestly, I made a prayer, and then next thing you know, my mom called me, get your ass home. What the hell are you doing? I'm like, what's going on? You don't really talk to me like that. She's like, oh, your grandpa passed away. And I'm like, what? And, get up here. Services are this week and burial's Friday. And I'm like, oh, shit, it's Tuesday. What you talking about? I'm here in Oklahoma, and I can't get a flight that late of a notice. It's going to cost me an arm and a leg. So anyway, I just ended up leaving that girl, and I had some money stashed and got in my car and made it home, and paid respects to my grandpa. And then ever since then, man, I started focusing on myself, because when I was in Oklahoma, I was focusing on someone else. Yeah, and I was like, dang. So it took me a while to figure out what I want to do, because I felt like I needed someone to complete me. You know what I mean? But then now it's like, man, I'm all I got, man.
Exactly. At the end of the day.
Yeah. So I started realizing, self-care, and realizing the whole thing of taking care of myself, because I was the whole time in Oklahoma, I was caring about someone else, worrying about what they wanted to do. And that's why I'm still single, man. That's why I'm just focused on my paper, man. And that's why I'm doing what I'm doing, because.
So Scott has nobody special in his life right now.
No, I don't. I'm just focused on the money.
Do you date?
Sometimes if they pay. No, because I'm joke around and I say I'm looking for the one with the big per cap.
Right.
Yeah.
$25 can't go very far.
Yeah. So that way I could, I was joking around. I was like, I'm looking for a manager. I need a manager. And someone's all, Scott, that's what your woman's for. I'm like, damn, well, where's she at then? And in New York, that was a perfect place, bro. Like Seneca Nation, man. They're thriving right now. And I've seen all kinds of beautiful women over there.
Absolutely.
But the funny thing is, all the beautiful women, the one I'm looking at, they're all too busy for even me.
Wow.
Like that's just how it goes. Like all these ones I'm dating, it's like sporadic because they're too busy.
Right. So even when you do, it's just brief.
Yeah, because they're just like me.
They're on their
They're focused
grind,
on their
right?
grind and their goals. And I'm like,
those are the right ones, though, man. I definitely love them kind of women. You know what I mean? Especially women with passion. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If they got something going on, I just want to be a part of it. Watch it succeed. Watch it grow. You know. Now, the music videos. How did it come to be the Res Life one?
We actually went on the Beats Lyrics Leaders program. We had two groups. We had a boys and a girls group, and then I was a head chaperone for the boys group. And then the girls group we'd all come together, do writing retreats. We actually went to Pacific City on the coast, had a writing retreat at a beach house, and kind of just taught the kids how to team write, and how to build a song as a team, and I guess share the spotlight and make a good song.
Yeah.
And we was doing that at the beach house, and then we was like, all right, how are we gonna plan? We're gonna plan separate retreats now. Here you go. You know, and the person that was doing the females was J. Ross Pirelli. She recently signed to Universal. You know, and so she's doing big things. You know, shout out to J. Ross Pirelli. So she took the girls and they did the retreat, and then me, Chaz, and Yamio did the retreat. We went up to Seattle and went up to Orbit Audio, same place. Macklemore recorded his album.
Yeah, is that where you got the picture with the Grammy in it?
Yeah, and the plaque. Okay, yeah. So I was all
inspiration right there.
Yeah, I was like, hold on. They're like, hey, you can't touch those. I'm like, all right, I'll wait till you guys leave.
You ain't gonna tell me that.
Yeah, so they left. I'm like, man, I'm gonna bless myself with this. You know, I grabbed that Grammy and blessed myself, and grabbed that platinum plaque and blessed myself, and kind of just jokingly, but at the same time, you gotta believe in something. You know, when they say visualize to materialize. So I was visualizing it like it was mine.
Thoughts become reality, man.
Yeah, and then so when it came down to it, it's supposed to be just a boys' retreat for fun. We're gonna go rent out this SSL studio, you know, show the youth that, hey, look at this $1 million studio. This is what the professionals use. And then Yamia was like, man, fuck that. We're gonna make a song. We're not just gonna do a tour. We got this studio for all fucking day. You know, you know how much that cost us? And then we're kind of like, all right. You know, so the first day we made the beat. Boom, 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 got the beat down.
Oh, so the beat wasn't even made yet.
It wasn't even made yet. Everything was from scratch on that retreat.
Okay, that's awesome. Okay.
So we got there, and Yamio did the bass line, did everything, and we was all sitting there kind of like, whoa, man, this is dope. Now we need a flute. You know, and then Watolan Gould, you know, he's from Lapway, Idaho. He's one of our students. I know how to play the flute. Give me that, you know. So he starts playing the flute, and then we start, you know, figuring it out, and then we're kind of just grooving, listening to it. And Uncle Rick came, Rick Clifford. He's the one who used to produce for Death Row Records, and you know, look him up. You know, he's a pretty good legend, you know, when it comes to sound engineering. You know, so he was there, and just because he was there in our presence, it made us work that much more harder. You know, it's like him working with all these people, and it's like, man, I just got him working with YG and DJ Mustard last week. And we're kind of like, what? Because we're fans of their music too.
Right.
And we're like, oh man, this guy is still in the mix and is still out there getting his paper and is still like loving life right now. Like it's cool to see someone so happy living their dream. And me seeing him living his dream, I'm like, dang, that's what I want. Yeah. You know, because the people just travel, pay him, hey, come over here, man, I'll finish this album. We need you. Boom. Next thing you know is across the seas, you know, doing music for people. You know, so he was there, and I was all sitting there wearing my Tupac shirt. He was like, oh, you don't know Tupac, you know, and this dude, you know, hung out with him and all that, you know. So it's cool just hearing stories about Tupac and Suge Knight and, you know, DPG. You know, he still hangs out with, you know, Corrupt and Snoop and all those guys. So I keep trying to razz him, bro, give me a feature, you know, and he keeps telling me, 50 G's.
Wow.
You know, and I'm like,
some tax write-up.
And I'm like, still, yeah, you know, still, and that was Corrupt.
Really?
Yeah, and I'm just like, well, how much for Snoop? You know, I don't even want to know, you know?
Yeah.
So I got to that point where I can joke with him. We was just sitting there talking about wrestling, you know, WWE, sports, you know, just all kinds of stuff. And then I didn't even know who he was, you know, or who he is, you know. And when it came down to it, you're like, that's Uncle Rick. And then I was like, cool, man, nice to meet you, you know, and shook hands. And he's like, man, I want to offer you some help. And he gave me his card. And he was like, you know, I just want to help you out, man, like what you're about, this and that. And I was like, cool, man. So after that whole day, we finally got everything done. Like we ghost writed, team writed, and the funny thing is we based it off of Too Short's The Ghetto. So when you listen to it, you might hear that bass line, or you might hear something from it. Yeah, similarities. Yeah. And so that's what we went off of was Too Short's The Ghetto. Darren Looney, he's from Coquille tribe, I believe, over there on the coast. And he was the one, he's like, my dad's finally let me listen to the 90s hip hop. It's dope. And we look at him like, whoa, because this is a kid that's 14, doesn't really relate to our type of music. But it's like, man, you guys got some good artists. He's like, I love listening to Too Short, The Ghetto. We should do a song like that. And we kind of looked at each other like, that's a good idea. Yeah. So that's where it all came to be, so I'll give a shout out to Darren Looney, and from there we all wrote our verses, and broke it down and just went in there and just kind of like I was telling you, Uncle Rick was in our face yelling at us like, you think you guys are going to be somebody? The world is watching. He's like, we're living in the future. He's like, as an artist, we're living in the future. We're always constantly thinking about the future. So you guys gonna think like that. When you're behind that microphone, the world is watching you. And I'm sitting there like, whoa, man, this guy is inspiring me right now. So when I got up there and did my verse, I did it. It's really rare for me to do it in one take. Yeah. And I don't know how other people are, it's really seldom when I see.
They call me the one take monster. Bro.
Yeah, you know what I mean, man. Yeah. It's like, so for me, I got it in one take and I was like, cool, man, I felt that one. Let's just think about that. And then, Uncle Rick's like, man, get in here, let's listen to it. So he went in there and, oh, you're pretty good, man. You're really good, man. What, you think you're YG now? Start razzing me and I start laughing like, like, man, thanks for the approval, man. And then from there, rest of the kids went there and did their verse and it was all spot on, It came out how it came to be, because these kids started off from barely even speaking to us to getting behind the microphone.
Yeah, and then there's mad people on the other side of the booth too looking in, right?
Yeah.
That's good. That's good. Getting the kids comfortable, right?
Yeah.
And at a lot of them, you can see the growth.
Yeah.
How many kids do you think you guys work with?
We worked with probably 16 kids.
Do you guys still keep track of them now, like what they've been doing, what they're doing, and all that?
Yeah, we're keeping track, making sure they're doing what they said they're going to do. Yeah. Some of them got inspired to do music. Some got inspired to be managers. Some got inspired to be engineers or fashion, because we're talking about how it all relates to the industry and how, we all work together. So it's pretty good to see them grow. And they're probably about 19.
Yeah. So they all started like when they're 14, 15?
Yeah. So they're all freshmen in college right now or fighting fire or,
fighting fire even?
Yeah, Leron Picard.
I did see him in the video. Was he really a lifeguard out there?
Yeah.
I seen him sitting on the thing in one of the fires. I was like, wait a minute, is that a lifeguard? And he's just sitting there.
Yeah. He's
but then he does come on towards the end, huh?
Yeah, he got some verse in there.
Okay.
Yeah, so when it all came down to it, it's kind of like a puzzle. Like I was talking about Andy YL. Yeah. And we're talking about how I met him and we're doing music together and it's all fam. I used to hang out with my older brothers and then Leron's father that passed away used to hang out with my older brother. So to me it's like it all came to be, like
all these people came to your life.
Yeah, these people came in my life because of the powers that be or however you believe, and then that's what I was telling them, like we met because
it was supposed to happen.
Yeah, it was supposed to be this way.
Yeah.
So they kind of look at me like, whoa. And when it comes down to it, we're all going through that spiritual phase right now, or we're all looking for something more, So we all got something to inspire towards, like, okay, let's see if this works.
Yeah.
It's kind of like that right now. And so I still like kind of like, Ron, let's go, bro. Even though you're fighting fire, you're going to come with me to the studio when you can. Yeah. Because you're my little bro, you're my little homie. I want to make sure you're all right. And so he's kind of like, thanks, bro. It's like I kind of like, it just helps me. I feel good helping others.
Yeah.
So when it comes down to it, we're still working. We're trying to plan a EP together or something, because.
Yeah, that was the next question. So what next album? So you got your first album, which was the EP, right?
Yeah, the EP. And then, so what was left was all my independent stuff. And I was like, well, you know what? I'm going to put out an independent album. So me and my producer put out the Beam Me Up.
The Beam Me Up. Okay.
Yeah, and that's my independent one. And then my Shifted Paradigms, my other independent one, I put out with a collaborative with YL. And so when it came down to it, everyone's like, oh, you're trying to be Tupac? when it came down to it last year, I put out 3 albums, and that was crazy to me because it takes a lot to do one.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And then so I was happy, and everyone's like, well, I can't even keep up, bro. And I'm just like, me being new, I am still trying to learn how to promote. I'm still trying to learn how to get it out there.
It's a hands-on job. That's so crazy and wild to me, man. Like I was saying earlier, my very first album, I was a kid when I did. You know what I mean? So it's real ignorant, it's real loud, real mouthy, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I actually got hell for it.
From your elders or what?
Actually, you know, it was from Joe Day. Joe Day. I seen Joe Day one day, and he had heard the album, and he said he took me aside and was like, you know, a lot of the things you guys say, you're going to be held accountable for. A lot of things you guys say, people are going to mimic, you know, kids and everything. And, you know, music it'll outlast us, especially now that we have the internet and everything, you know what I mean? So he kind of like told me, you know, you got to really either change your attitude, change something, because even though, yeah, it's a really great album, it's a good piece of work, but you can do better. Not just for yourself, but for your people, you know? And he kind of just told me that. And that's why my next album was the big inspiration. It kind of flipped everything I was about, you know what I mean? And I just felt like, I'm glad somebody was there to say that. You know what I mean? Because so many of us, we kind of, especially us from the 90s, we definitely had that to look up to, you know what I mean? And it wasn't right. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's why I like what you're doing, man. I love the inspiration. I like everything. What about performing? Do you like performing or doing the music better?
Oh, I like performing.
Yeah.
At first, I was all like, man, I want to perform.
Where was your first performance?
My first performance was Andy Leonard. He did an Increase the Peace event down there at the community center. And he brought in Superman.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and that was like before he was MTV Artist of the Week and stuff. Right. So it was pretty cool, you know, and I was just kind of like, I listened to some of his music because they were like, we're bringing in Superman. I'm like, well, I better listen to his music before he gets here. Yeah. You know, so listen to Deadly Pens and listen to the Crow Hop one.
Crow's my favorite.
Yeah, man. Same here, man. Same here. I like that beat. And so I started listening to all that. And then he got here. I'm like, dang, I'm nervous, man. This guy's the man. This guy's been doing it forever. And here I am, just new. I ain't got an album. You know, I ain't got nothing. you know. Just made me. It's funny because I made me some shirts too.
Wow.
Yeah, it said "Blessed to be the best" on it, and that was one.
I remember that.
Yeah, that was one of my first T-shirts. So I was like really trying to be the rapper guy. I was like, oh man, I gotta have something to throw out, you know. But opened up for Superman, you know, and did that. And there's probably like 500 people there, off and on, you know. And it was cool. Everyone's like, I don't even know you're a rapper, Scott. I started laughing because I was so nervous, man. Because he asked me 2 weeks prior, and I told him no. And then he asked me again a week before, like 5 days until the show, and I was like, dang, man, you know, I was, hold on, let me go home, you know, and I was like, no, I'm just going to say yes, and then I'm going to deal with it later. Yeah, I'm going to do it. And I go home, and bro, I started stressing, man. I was like, no matter how much you do public speaking, no matter how much, you know.
Rapping is totally different.
Yeah, so I got, you know.
Did you forget the lyrics?
No, I didn't.
See, that's what I mean. Your first show, you always do it. There's been times where I did. There's been times I open up for Warren G and forgot my lyric, but I play it off. You know what I mean? I play it off. Nobody would ever notice. But.
I think I remember you telling me that. I was like, bro, how was your show? Bro, I forgot a verse, but I rapped a different one.
I rapped anyway.
I was like, that's dope, though, because you can't stop. Like,
yeah, you just can't stop. And say, hey, rewind that while I get my lyrics.
Will I remember?
While I remember real quick.
Yeah, so that's one thing I was worried about, and I made a prayer. You know, natives, we believe in prayer, you know, absolutely. So made a prayer, and I was like, all right, man, whoever needs to be there. I even put it down to that. Whoever needs to be there was going to be there, because that's how nervous I was, because, you know, if someone's going to boo you right away and you're performing, no telling how that's going to be, you know, or whatever. You know how natives can be, man. Like, I'm like, man, I know these people. These people know me since I was a kid growing up. Now they're going to be looking at me like, what? This guy's a rapper? Whatever, Scott. You know, so I made that prayer, and then when it all happened, you know, some of my people was like, you're trying to be something you're not. That's black culture. That's this, that's that. I'm like, that's kind of messed up that you're saying that, because you're listening to it right this second. But
when you do it, it's...
Yeah, but when I do it, it's wrong.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, you know what? I'm going to do it different, and then I guess I can be native. You know, and I was wondered how come Lightfoot, or how come no one wore a war bonnet when they rapped on stage? And I I was waiting for that. Like, that's dope. He's wearing a word on it. He's rapping, and then I was like, I'm going to do that. It's like, called my grandma, my late grandpa, Sam, car wash used to make, word bonnets and hand them out for people and stuff. And so we still got a word bonnet in our family. So I was like, Grandma, can I borrow that word bonnet? And she's like, for what? I was like, told her about it, and perform. And she's like, all right. And she just bring it back when you're done. And she thought I was going to go and speak, and act like chief or whatever. I don't know. But I was like, no, man, I just want to make sure people know that, boom, I'm doing this for my people, So I put it on and wore it and I rapped with it. And it was cool, man. It made me feel good. And when I was done, I walked over to Superman was like, bro, that was the first time I ever seen someone rock the mic with a war bonnet on. That was dope.
You know what's weird? I just thought about that. I think I was there. I was at the center behind the. Yeah. I actually have it on video. I did a video where, because what I do is when I do music videos, I always have a catalog full of side video stock footage, and I was looking for footage to add just at the end of one of our videos, and it shows you and Superman, and it shows you standing around with the war bonnet on, and there's like mad kids and mad people there. Yeah.
It's on the reservation, right?
The reservation, that's what it was. We just needed stock footage, and I remember I was digging through it, and I was like, wow, So it all came together too.
Yeah.
All right. And then, do you have any message for these kids, man? I feel like you could definitely tell these kids something.
I feel like everything you learn in your life matters. I never think I would be doing this right now, but every skill you learn, hold on to it. You never know when you're going to need it, because I never think I'd have to use that public speaking I took in high school. I never think I'd have to learn that poetry I learned in English class. I never think I'd have to learn how to budget, from economics class. So all these things matter, and it all can be utilized in the future, and you never know what it may become, taking that healthy risk, because like you guys inspired me doing hip hop at a young age. I was like, man, if they can do it, maybe they're going to make it, maybe they're going to make it one day. That's dope. And then I called you and I was at college. You're like, bro, we're opening up for Young Buck.
Yeah.
And I was like, what? That's badass, man. It made me feel good. All right, bro, well, send me some music so I can bump it down here in New Mexico. And I was down there in Mississippi, then you sent it to me and I was playing it. Everyone's like, who's this? Oh, that's my cousin. So everyone's kind of like, oh, he's a good, so just that moment of you guys doing it. And here I was like, just wishing a native will make it.
Yeah.
Like if it's not me, hope it's you, cause that's how I feel like, cause all these other races have their people to look up to.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping one day that these kids can have someone to look up to like that.
Yeah.
And be like, hey, look at this guy started off from where I'm at, but look at him. He made it to where it's impossible to be, because for me, that's how I felt when Uncle Rick gave me his card. He's like, Scott, here you go. Next thing you know, I was in Coachella Valley. And the next thing you know, I was in the Hollywood Hills. And I'm sitting in the mansion and I'm sitting there like, whoa. And I don't know, man. I don't know. I got it all on camera. I got it all everywhere. But it's just the fact that I took that healthy risk and got in that booth. And it got me to Hollywood.
There you go, ladies and gentlemen. Scott Kalama. Definitely look him up, man. And they can find your music on iTunes and all that, right? Google Music.
BlueFlamesMusic.com. Blue Flames with a Z. Check it out.
Check out his videos. Where can they find? What's your YouTube backslash?
Yeah, my YouTube's just Scott Kalama, just my regular name.
There you go.
Yeah, I put it out there before I knew who I was or who am I. I never know, man. I might just change my name again.
That's true, though. What made you come with Blue Flames?
Blue Flames is traditional. I go to Native American church and
gotcha.
I pray a lot and I pray a lot for my people and for my family. I don't know. I'm a Cancer, bro.
Hey, I'm a Cancer too, baby, right here.
So you know how it is, man. Cancer is we feel a lot, man.
Yeah, we're emotional.
Yeah. So I feel for my people a lot, and I was like kind of angry and mad. Like something tragedy happened to my family, to my sister Farron.
Yeah,
and she's gone. R.I.P. Rest in peace to my sister Farron. But she was really my critic when it came to everything. And before she passed away, I was like, oh man, should I show her my music? You know, because I showed her my drawings. I don't draw anymore.
There's no more drawings to show.
Yeah. And so I was like, all right, maybe she thinks I'm good.
Yeah.
Check this out. And I showed her my Bust to Be the Best track. And I got this one track called Jason Fitted Caps. It's talking about Jordans and hats, you know. And I played it to her and she's like, and on the first lyric I say, I'm a savage, higher than average, you know, just the regular rhyme that everyone comes up with when they're barely starting, you know. And she started laughing. She's like, I was going to say you're better than average, you know? And so I was like, that's good enough for me, you know? So she gave me back my phone and I was like, well, thank you, Farron, for taking it easy on me this time, you know? Because she would destroy me. And
it could have been over.
Yeah, it could have been over. I wouldn't have been doing this no more. But she gave me the green light and I was like, all right, cool, you know? And then so from there I just kept going. And but anyway, I go into that teepee and I was like praying, you know, because I was like worried about my family and praying for protection and praying for the future and brighter days. And then we prayed all night, you know, from like sundown to sun up. And then when the sun came up, the fire was all blue, like completely blue. And I was like, whoa, you know, being native, you know, everything represents something. Yeah. And I was like, so what does that mean? What does that mean? That's the first time I've ever seen a blue fire. And the red man looked at me and he's like, Scott, with all these times they've been running meetings and all these times they've been doing this, it's my first time ever seeing that. He's all, Scott, that means everything you prayed for last night's going to come true. It means your ancestors are in here with you. Scott, you're going to be all right. Pray for a positive mindset. Pray for a good heart. Talk good about your future. It's going to be that way for you. And I sat there and I started smiling. And I was like, I'm going to call myself Blue Flames.
That's deep. Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Scott Kalama, Blue Flames. Been through a lot of tragedy in his life, lost a lot of his people, a lot of his family members, but he's keeping his head up and he's staying positive. Right now we're going to play one of his songs, Res Life. Thank you for listening to Indigenous Avenue on Big B. Until next time. Yeah.
Good old-fashioned Indian loving. No, I can't be your husband. Just found out that you're my cousin. Hey, 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 oh, hey, hey.
That's a good one, man. That's a good one. You gotta use that one.
To attack, setting up camp, taking our land back. One nation at a time, giving politicians a panic attack. The wolf pack, gonna attack like a running back. This is my ancestral payback. Everyone shoots a bottle over, dancing and singing. A spirit's got a hold on you, there's no more waiting to start praying. About the good and the bad, when you're happy and you're sad, to the one from up above, cause we'll show you the love to break that curse. That goes back to generations, to the days of termination. Let's come rise up and strengthen our nation. Hoka, hoka, hey! 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 Hoka, hey!
Dipping up, whipping up, folding up. All you mother already know. Man, I'm only 17 with more than $1 dream. What it seems to be, it's gonna take me along to the needs to be for me to succeed. Make my mom proud with the music, sadly, cause I ain't no sellout industry bitch. Real listeners gonna be like, saying some true shit. And these cell entry slaves are gonna be like, he ain't got no flow, he ain't got no hustle, best part, he broke, haha, that mother, that God will still breathing, trying to inspire the people, that they don't have to think there isn't hope, trust me, there is, you just gotta find it deep within, and keep the love, peace, and positivity in rotation, breathe in and out and pray, just know there's better days ahead, man, just believe, just believe.
Hoka, hey! 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 Hoka, hey!
This life is all we can do just to get by. So now we bring you the truth, just like a flashlight. Traditions won't die. Our people been organized. People just open your eyes. Bring you the good life.
Getting together, we building for something better instead of trying to divide them in the crash site. Fighting each other over water rights and plans for how the land divides between the tribes. And if they qualify and get recognized, to face that termination, rise above and take determination. Your life's a gift, my native. Please don't be the one to take your life to sacred. Babylon's coming. Pray you rise and face.
No matter where you sit, no matter where you're living, there's people just like you, stuck in a position just like you, scraping by, using all their money to survive. It's not just on the reservation, it's no more people all in the